Hey everybody, this is my 55-gallon tank, and I had a little minor disaster overnight, and it all stems from doing too much of a water change yesterday. I got carried away while I was doing it, and I wound up doing probably 60 or 70% water change, but more significantly than just the water change, I added some calcium carbonate to the tank. I use a product called Poultry Grit. It's a combination of crushed oyster shells and crushed aragonite coral, and I mix it up in, or I put it in one of those little mesh pouches, and then I put it inside one of the trays of the canister filter, and over time that slowly dissolves into the water, and it gives me just a little bit of mineralization, and it gives me a little bit of carbonates, and it keeps everything nice and stable. But it doesn't make a huge impact on the tank. It just adds a little bit of carbonates and a little bit of calcium. And so last night when I did the big water change and I refreshed the bag and I put a brand new pouch in there, I did rinse it off in the sink before I put it in, but when you turn the filter on for the first time, the water starts coming out of the filter almost like milky. There was just so much dissolved calcium and stuff in there that it had to have made a huge impact on my water chemistry. And I did have one Siamese algae eater in here, and it was already looking pretty rough, and then after I did the water change it started looking really rough. And so this morning I found the Siamese algae eater dead. I looked around, I found that guppy dead. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that little thing right there is a dead guppy. I've got another dead guppy floating around on the surface of the tank right there. So both of the guppies that I had in the tank are now dead. And as I was looking around, I found the other Siamese algae eater. Where did it go? It's stuck down here in the bushes somewhere. But the other Siamese algae eater is also dead and is now stuck in the vegetation. I need to get in there and get that out. And I did have one last hatchet fish swimming around the tank, and for the life of me I cannot find the hatchet fish. So I'm assuming it too is dead, and I cannot find its remains anywhere. The angelfish is okay. My Synodontis lucipinus right there is okay. And my big pleco that you can see right there, that big thing that looks like a rock sticking up, is actually a fish. That's a big pleco, and that is still doing okay. So those are doing all right. And I do have one of my diamond tetras is now showing issues with the swim bladder. So that is an awful lot of stuff to happen after one single water change. And that is why I always recommend against doing those massive water changes unless you really, really know what's going on with your water chemistry. Now, in this case, I just made the mistake of not thinking that it was going to be a big deal when I put that additional calcium in there, and apparently that must have just been too much between the huge water change I did, and it had been a long time since I'd done a water change on this tank. So whatever dissolved solids were in there was a massive shift in that. I didn't check the pH, but I probably didn't shift the pH around too much. I'm assuming the hardness value is what changed, and the total dissolved solid value changed enough that it made it difficult for the fish to osmoregulate properly. Hence, we have a swim bladder issue with that fish, and then we lost 4 others. Now, the one, again, was already on its way out. I knew that I was going to be losing that Siamese algae eater any day now, and then, of course, that was what pushed it over the edge. But the other Siamese algae eater is in there, too, and I don't see its body at the moment, but I did a minute ago, and now I can't remember where I found it. Let me stick my arm in there and move this plant around and see if I can find it. I think there, yeah, that's it right there. All right, there we go. So that is my other, there we go, I did find it. That is the other Siamese algae eater. So both my Siamese algae eaters are now dead. The other one was about the same size as that, so they're now gone. Got the guppy floating right there. I got one more guppy I need to get out of the plant right there, but that'll be the last of the dead fish, at least as far as I can see. Again, I did have a hatchet fish swimming around in there as of last night, and I do not see either the hatchet fish being alive, nor do I see any remains of the hatchet fish in the tank anywhere. So, all right, everybody, I got a dead fish in my hand. I'm going to wrap this up and call that good. Just a word to the wise. Take it easy on the water changes. There's a reason these sort of generic recommendations are 10% weekly and 25% monthly. It is very, very easy to get in there and really disrupt what's going on in your tank by doing really, really massive water changes. Again, unless you really, really know what your water chemistry is, I always advise against those huge water changes. So take that for what it's worth. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to do a live stream every Friday night and Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for watching this one. I'll see you soon.